You're listening to Alcoholics Alive, where recovered members of Alcoholics Anonymous share their experience on how they live AA as a way of life. None of our participants get paid or speak for AA. Here are your hosts, Shank and Wayne. Well, Shank, last week we covered Meeting Makers Make It. And I'm curious, we made it another week. I wonder if we did that because we made some meetings. Did you make any meetings last week?
I did,
Okay, I did too.
but I
And I
attend
met,
regular meetings regularly, and all those people were not surprised to see me at those meetings.
they weren't.
No,
You didn't do any pit stop recovery?
no, you did. Was that
Oh, I did do some pit stop
you
recovery at
did?
one. Yes, I sure did. Yeah. Well, it worked. Here I am. I'm still sober. So maybe there is some validity to Meeting Makers Make It. If you don't know what we're talking about, listen to last week's episode. So anyway, we're here another week. We appreciate you joining us. Shank, what's our Upon Awakening reading?
Upon Awakening today comes from the book Alcoholics Anonymous at page 181. It's a fourth edition, 2001. And this is a popular reading. I believe we've had it on this podcast before in some previous seasons. It says, I spend a great deal of time passing on what I learned to others who want and need it badly. I do it for 4 reasons. 1, sense of duty. 2, it is a pleasure. 3, because in doing so, I am paying my debt to the man who took time to pass it on to me. 4, because every time I do it, I take out a little more insurance for myself against a possible slip.
Dr. Bob, huh? Old
Yep.
Bobby.
Yep.
It's a, are you a friend of Bob?
I sure am.
Yeah, me too. What a great reading. Now, you notice he didn't say anything about going to meetings.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure he goes to meetings, but well, it tells us what to do if we want to stay sober.
Yep.
And it tells us why we should do it, right? We help people because it's a pleasure. Most of the time it is. Sometimes it's work.
Right.
But it is, there's a sense of, I guess, gratitude and satisfaction in knowing that you're helping somebody because somebody helped us. And it certainly is paying our debt back to the fellowship and the people that took time to pass it on to us. And he's calling it insurance against really what we would call relapse,
Yep.
right? He calls it a slip.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a better term.
I think it is a better term.
Yeah,
Although, I do also think that a lot of people consider a slip not as bad.
correct.
Not that it's
Yeah,
bad, okay, not that it's inherently negative, but it's just like, oh, it was just a little slip.
just a little slip.
hmm
Hmm.
I've been sober for 5 years, not consecutively, but had a couple
Right.
slips.
Couple slips. Well, we'll stick with relapse. So basically, if we want insurance from drinking, help people. Yep. Pass on what has been given to you. So Dr. Bob knows what's up.
That's what's up.
So simple. What is our topic today?
Our topic today is don't drink no matter what. And if you're a new listener, or if you've been on this journey with us for the past 2.5 years, however long it's been, this is a throwback. So we did have this as meeting shrapnel in season 1, episode 3. That was with
Oh, did we really?
our friend Tammy Z.
Yes.
So we did have that as shrapnel. If you haven't heard that, you can hear I think maybe Tammy liked to debate a little bit. So
She
if you want
did.
to go back to season one, episode three, she may give a good reason to keep saying don't drink no matter what.
Yeah. Healthy debate.
And then season six, episode three, we had Dee on, and the name of that podcast was just No Matter What. So a little throwback. We had some people mention don't drink no matter what in our email submissions,
We did. Yes.
and that was season two. So don't drink no matter what.
Don't drink no matter what. Well, you know what? If you tied this into last week's topic, meeting makers make it.
Yep,
That's how you come up with don't drink and go to meetings,
that's right. There you go.
right?
Yep.
That's where that one came from. Well, I think this is probably one of the most recognized and heard slogans or sayings in the fellowship. Probably right up there with don't drink and go to meetings. But yeah, don't drink no matter what. So you hear it a lot. I would imagine you hear it a lot at clubhouses and meetings of convenience. The, I mean, on the surface, it sounds cool and sounds good, but I'm not sure how helpful it is. I mean, it certainly reinforces the idea that, hey, don't drink, but it doesn't really offer anything in the form of a solution to how do you not drink. It's certainly simple. I mean, it sounds simple. Hey, don't drink no matter what. The problem with that is alcoholics drink no matter what,
Right.
right?
Yes.
If you're in the, if you're in the throes of your obsession, or you're right in the middle of trying to quit, and if your mind is pickled and fevered, like the book says, then it can be hard to just not drink.
Well, what is the obsession and or the physical craving? What is that?
It's alcoholism.
Is it just if you think about alcohol, or if you look and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that they have a new spritzer, whatever, seltzer
Hmm.
alcohol.
So if that were true, then we'd all be slipping and relapsing,
Yeah.
right? So I'm having a hard time finding anything to where it would be helpful, other than, I mean, I guess if a guy called you and he was like in the middle of like drama, and he's thinking like, well, I'm going to go drink. I mean, I guess you could say, hey man, don't drink no matter what. Let me come talk to you or meet me somewhere.
Right, but
But
there would be a
and
follow-up to that.
correct.
You wouldn't just say, hey, well, don't drink no matter what. See you late. Bye.
Yeah,
See you at
talk to you
see
later.
you at the group on Thursday.
Yeah. But a
It would
lot of
be
times,
followed up by more direction, suggestion.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And yeah, so I mean, I think there's a lot more cons to this one than there are pros.
Well, I think for me, it's just when I think about my drinking, I didn't need a reason. I didn't have a reason. I could tell you a reason, but it just, none of that mattered. So I also have not had the experience of having a craving or wanting to really drink since I've been sober.
Hmm.
Since I asked for that to be removed. And I don't say that to say like I'm so special and perfect and unique. A lot of people have that experience, and I think they just don't share it because it sounds idealistic, or it sounds unattainable, or it sounds like, well, you're just saying that.
Yep.
And so I just don't drink no matter what. If I told someone, if I said that to someone, it would be followed up with more information.
Yep. Well, I think a lot of people have had the experience of the obsession to drink being removed, obviously by asking for it to be removed and by taking the steps. And you used to hear that a lot in meetings, but I think now you're right. People are afraid to, or they don't share it because it does sound like unattainable, or it's mystical, or it's just, like really radical. But that was my experience. I mean, it just kind of it went away. I asked God to remove it. I got involved in the program and took the steps, and it went away.
Hmm.
And I mean, I think we both have said it many times on the podcast. I mean, to physically stay sober once you get engaged in the program, it's easy. I mean, it's now when you first get here, your mind is pickled and messed up. That's why it's important to quickly move away from step one, right? People that just stay on step one typically relapse. That's why we talk about, getting into action, and by taking those steps and coming to believe in a power greater than yourself, that's what helps you, the obsession to leave and how you stay sober. There's a few other things about this one. It does kind of imply that like not drinking is the goal, which we know there's a lot more to sobriety and being a member of Alcoholics Anonymous than just not drinking.
Well, it can lead to DDS,
Now you're gonna have to help me with that one, Shank. What is that?
drive drunk syndrome.
Oh yeah, the DDS.
Just white knuckling sobriety, fear-based sobriety. I'm
Mm,
not saying you should never be afraid. That's not what I'm saying, but at the fear of I might take a drink, or I'm so scared I might take a drink tomorrow if I don't do da da da.
hmm.
It's um that can happen. I'm not saying like you're not sober if you have those thoughts sometimes. It just doesn't have to be like that every day. Does not have to be this white knuckling trudge, don't drink no matter what. I have to
Yep.
stay sober.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that way. Dry drunk syndrome. Oh, DDS. I may have to bring that. That's a new one. I mean, I've heard dry drunk syndrome, but not the DDS.
Yes, DDS.
I like it.
Come on, dog.
So don't white knuckle. I'm trying to, I'm trying to think if anyone has ever actually, when I was new, if anyone ever actually said this to me. I swear I don't remember hearing it.
I
I,
know I heard this. There was in my home group when I got out of prison. Before I went when I got out, there were a couple slogan slingers in there. Um,
yep.
and one guy specifically, he would always say, "Put the plug in the jug and don't drink no matter what." I mean, he would always
Hmm.
say it. And um, but I believe that that man was recovered.
Right.
I don't think that he knew or how to communicate um,
Yep.
what he did. Or maybe that was
Yeah.
him communicating it. But I
It might have
knew I
been.
got to know him personally, and I'm like, well, why don't you share that? Why don't you share that? That's an amazing story. I never knew, you did this, this, and this. Um,
That'd be way more beneficial than the slogans.
mhm.
Yeah. I had a lot of people tell me don't drink and go to meetings.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not sure anyone told me don't drink them. I think I heard it, but I don't think anybody said it to me like directly.
yeah.
Um, don't drink no matter what. Hmm. Well, so I think it falls short pretty good. What does the big book say? I think that
Well,
was,
it says that we have, no defense. So, page 24. The fact is that most alcoholics, for reasons yet obscure, have lost the power of choice in drink. So if you're new
so,
and you've lost the power of choice in drink and you're not yet into the steps or service, you're just, you have lost the power of choice in drink. You don't have a defense against it. So just saying don't drink no matter what, probably not helpful.
yeah. And if we think back on our own drinking, we probably have examples of where this statement is absolutely true, right? I mean, I was in the hospital for 5 days and got out and made all kinds of promises that I was not going to drink. And 3 days later, my plan was to go straight home after work, and I stopped in a damn convenience store and bought some beer. And all of what happened to me a week before that and being in the hospital because of drinking never entered into my mind to stop me from drinking. That's why don't drink no matter what doesn't work. Right? I didn't want to drink that day, but next thing you know, I'm drinking. So I had lost the power to choose. And, people have different, I guess, levels of that depending on, what their situation is. But in general, an alcoholic is going to drink no matter what.
The book also tells us the book Alcoholics Anonymous tells us page 64, though our decision was a vital and crucial step, it could have little permanent effect unless at once followed by strenuous effort to face and be rid of the things in ourselves which had been blocking us.
Right. So it's talking about moving forward with the steps, that there's more to Alcoholics Anonymous than just not drinking. And so if we want to, this is specifically talking about starting the fourth step and kind of working steps 4 through 9. We got to face stuff inside of us that blocks us off from God and blocks us off from other people. That's how the obsession's removed. And I love this because it says at once. And if you read the book and you read stories of, people in Alcoholics Anonymous that have really kind of made it, especially the early folks, they immediately took those steps, right? They didn't wait around. They didn't do 90 and 90. They immediately tried to grow spiritually and turn their life over to God by taking those steps. And that's what this is talking about. So if you want to stay sober, you go to some meetings, but take the steps. Face the stuff inside you that blocks you off.
Page 84 tells us we have entered the world of the spirit. Our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness.
This is how you prevent DDS right here. This is how you prevent dry drunk syndrome is by we continue to grow in understanding effectiveness, basically by what we would call working steps 10, 11, and 12, or practicing 10, 11, and 12 in our lives. We continue to look at ourselves. We continue to turn to God for help. We try to get closer to God by prayer, meditation, and by helping other people. Right? That's how we grow in understanding the effectiveness of what God's will is for us and how we can carry that out.
All right, so I'll tell you my tradition reference and my concept reference because we are a 3 legacy podcast.
Okay.
If you're just tuning in, we have seasons on the steps, on the traditions, and the concepts. So my tradition reference is from Tradition 4 long form. With respect to its own affairs, each AA group should be responsible to no other authority than its own conscience. So groups are responsible, to grow, to participate in service, to help alcoholics, to go to sorted places. Okay. Individuals also should be responsible for taking spiritual actions that make your sobriety meaningful. And therefore, you're not blocked off from God. Therefore, you stay sober and you're not a dry drunk and you're not struggling, white knuckling every day is not just barely holding on.
Well, wait a minute, Shank. You're saying we're responsible for our own recovery?
Listen, it's a hot take apparently.
Oh my goodness. This is actually a really good tie-in with the statement. Yeah, because we are responsible for our recovery, and if we want to do more than just not drink, or we want to do more than continuously relapse, and like you said, white knuckle, fear-based sobriety, we do have to take action. We do have to take responsibility for our recovery. Which for me meant getting a group and being involved in a group and getting a sponsor and taking those steps as best as I could, not waiting, not procrastinating, not waiting for somebody else to do it. And it led to freedom. And that's something that happens kind of over time. I know sometimes when we talk, it sounds like we immediately just, phew, God came in and here we are. No, it's growth and continuous action over time.
And I still have um, unpleasant days, struggles in my life, but I do not struggle with my sobriety. And
Nope.
that's just been my personal experience. I know that other people have other experience, and I don't think that that's right, wrong, good, or bad. But I do know several people as well who were struggling, white knuckling, didn't understand AA, wanted to understand AA before doing it, um,
Hmm.
who at some point heard something at their group or got a new sponsor or worked the steps out of the book for the first time, whatever it may be, and they had that spiritual experience and they are free today.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, why did I try to figure all of this out before I did it?
Yeah.
Which is those
But
are beautiful stories too. I'm just here to say that you don't have to wait a year, 2 years, 5 years, work one step a year, work one step a month.
yeah. Well, the literature tells us to not do that. And there's a lot of hope in a story like yours where, hey, because I don't think we hear that enough in A that, hey, I haven't struggled with sobriety. Certainly life has visited and has hit, but taking a drink or, having some uncontrollable craving to drink has not been an issue.
Well, and when I show up to my home group with the purpose of helping someone, I've been through things, and of course, people at my home group knew that I had just broke up with a boyfriend and, had changed to that home group. I'd only been there for 3 to 6 months or something. They knew that, but when I showed up at the group with the purpose of helping someone else and not because I need to be there to share, I might drink, I can't believe this happened. No, I was just there to share my experience and try to find someone to help. And when I do that,
Yeah.
as I've been taught to do, you know, God works out the rest. And I have not struggled to stay sober no matter what I've been through.
Yep. Well, that's why we should go at the program with the same enthusiasm and vigor that we did with drinking.
There
And
you
I don't know about
go.
you, but I drank pretty hard. Yeah.
All
Now, you
right.
said you had a concept for us, Sue?
Here's my concept reference.
Uh-oh.
Um, Concept 5 is V5.
Yes,
I'm on a roll.
you are,
I
man.
I
You've
may
been,
have learned the Roman numerals.
I think you have.
All
Another
right.
benefit to the program. That's your higher power doing for you what you can't do for yourself.
Concept 5, long form. All right, it says throughout our world services structure, a traditional right of appeal ought to prevail so that minority opinion will be heard and personal grievances carefully considered. Okay. So our tuck-in.
Hey, let's wrap this up and close the loop on it for us.
um is don't drink no matter what. Okay. I think like that's just a little bit of a cop out in a way. If someone comes to me and they're just like, I don't want to come to the group tonight, I'm really struggling, or this or that, and me either not having an answer to that, not participating in Alcoholics Anonymous, not having knowledge of what to do, instead of saying, Well, saying don't drink no matter what, instead of trying to help that person who may be the minority opinion between the two of us, something I haven't experienced or that I don't see the way they're seeing it, and just saying, well, don't drink no matter what. I
Mm.
think that
It, it's actually a good tie-in. So this concept tells us to listen to people, and it tells us that there's like, there's wisdom and there's solution from different people. So I think that when a new person is calling us, or we see a new person that's struggling, to make some of these flippant comments, like don't drink no matter what, or turn it over, don't drink and go to meetings. It's really, you hear that typically from people that they really don't want to get involved, and they don't want to really have hard or tough conversations with people. So I think it does tie in. So I mean, it tells us that, hey, if somebody's struggling, we probably should spend a little time with them, like Dr. Bob did. We probably should, actually try to listen to what's going on with them and offer a real solution.
so it makes me think of, I get so many calls because of my personal experience of people who are going to jail or prison. More times than not, they think they're going to, and they
Yeah,
don't.
they typically don't, right?
Hey, which is totally fine, okay? Like, that's what happened to me, but I don't wish that on everyone that gets a DUI or anything like that. So that's not what I'm saying, but it's typically people who get in situations, that people haven't been in. So they're like, hey, call this girl Susie. Okay, great. And what's interesting is about 50-50. Most women do not like my answer, which is not don't drink no matter what, which is not, yes, you should be trying to do community service and logging every AA meeting you go to and get your sponsor to write a letter. I've been asked to write more letters for people that have been in
Yeah.
AA for a month or 3 months, you know. And it's not that you should or shouldn't do that. My point is that it's not saying, well, yes, here's all the legal things that I did. Here's the attorney I hired. Here's the meetings I went to that they appreciate, or here's the judge you should see. It's, of course, like, take all of that into consideration, but really what I did, the people that taught me when I got to AA were, hey, we expect you to be here every Monday and Thursday night.
Hmm.
We're going to be greeting at this conference. So you're greeting at this conference. And every time I would come back to them, like, no, I think I need to be like saving up money because you've also told me I can't
Right.
rely on my family while I'm in prison. Like, so I need to save money and I need to do this. And they're like, hey, you can do all of that. We'll see you on Monday and Thursday nights. We'll see you at the mental hospital.
Yep.
Not as a patient, but as an AA member going in there.
Yep.
Who's your sponsor? What step are you on? Why haven't you met? Why did you cancel that meeting? Like, let's get sober. Let's do this together.
So there's more to it than just not drinking and going to meetings.
It was not, don't
But
drink no matter what.
don't drink no matter what. Yeah. Well, and the reality is,
Hey, my personal grievances were carefully considered by these women.
uh huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
they said, okay, well, see you Monday.
They still
See you
hit you. That's
Thursday.
right. Yeah, they still hit you with a solution. Well, here's what we do know. Don't drink no matter what. It might keep you alive for a little while, but not long. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure it would keep you alive for a short period of time.
Hey, I needed to be awakened spiritually.
Well, that's right. If you're going to quit drinking, you got to be awakened spiritually. If you believe what about alcoholism and believe what the book says, there's no other way. There is no other solution. And the way that you don't drink is by taking spiritual actions. right? The book says that we may be suffering from an illness which only a spiritual experience will conquer. So don't drink no matter what. Doesn't work. You got to take spiritual actions.
Well, in our reading, or upon awakening, Dr. Bob struggled with cravings for a couple years.
He did. That's a good point.
And
That's his own words.
what did he do? He
He helped 5,000 people.
he helped 5,000 people.
Yeah, that's what he did. All right. So, help some people. Let's move on to Living Sober Shrapnel.
Living Sober Shrapnel. We have arrived at page 77. This is the booklet, Living Sober, the 55th printing. So our shrapnel segments are lore, myth, and sayings that we have taken from the booklet, Living Sober. We're at page 77. And this is where it's talking about the kinds of AA meetings.
Okay.
We're not going to go through every kind, but one that I did choose for shrapnel is alcoholic or not. So this is in reference to open meetings. Anyone is welcome, alcoholic or not. These are likely to be a little more organized, a little more formal. Usually 2 or 3 members who have volunteered in advance in turn tell the group about their alcoholism, what happened, and what the recovery is like.
It's interesting because it's the open meetings that I've gone to are a little less formal, I would say. And they're a lot of them aren't organized. So that's an interesting comment. I wonder what Barry's experience was with meetings outside of New York.
That's a great question.
Yeah. I do agree that they're open to anybody, that anyone's welcome.
Well, and in my opinion, and what I was taught in Alcoholics Anonymous in the home group that I got sober in, is you show up, you do not curse from behind the podium, you tell a couple drinking stories, it's not your life story.
Yep.
You get sober, talk about how you work the steps, talk about what your life and your relationship with God is, and you dress up. You look recovered, not for the other AA members, like sure, potentially for someone new or whatever, but because anyone is welcome and they're maybe members of the community, someone's husband, wife, children, parents, judges, lawyers, doctors, nurses doing their training. Be a good example of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Well, the opposite of that is mostly going on, and it's like an epidemic nowadays in AA with people dressing down and being casual and using really just kind of vulgar language, especially in open speaker meetings, where you're right. There sometimes is family there. There's friends. There's members of the community. Could be students. Some cases there's actually clergy from the church where the group might be meeting that's there, and then you got some dude up there who's technically, whether he wants to believe it or not, he's representing Alcoholics Anonymous. He's wearing shorts, flip-flops, and he's throwing the F-bomb and GD out every 30 seconds. It's not a good example. Does the guy have the right to do all that? Yeah, I guess he does.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, but why would you? So
Well, and I think that there is a lack of inviting the community, inviting friends, family, all of this to open meetings. Maybe it's because of all of this other stuff going on, but the community should know who we are.
yes.
And we should not be relying, in my opinion, on sending them an email, sending them a pamphlet to read, sending them something for that person to do.
Yep,
No, it's up
100%.
to us to share the message, and an open speaker meeting is a great way to do that. The lack of profanity offends no one. No one's going to be
That,
offended if you don't cuss. If you can't relate to a speaker because they don't speak the way you speak, then you're not open-minded. What are you doing?
yep. You know what's interesting about this statement? He puts in here who volunteered in advance.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
I typically don't get people that volunteer to speak.
Well, he goes on in here and is talking about like diversity of opinion is welcome and valued in AA. Identifying with the speaker, it does not mean that the age, sex, lifestyle, behavior, pleasures, or troubles of the speaker are identical to yours. It does mean you're willing to hear of the fears, excitements, worries, and joys which you can empathize with, which you remember feeling at times yourself.
Okay. So, alcoholic or not, at an open meeting, that's an accurate statement that anyone's welcome.
That's right.
And I think that they should be more formal and more organized. So maybe he's on something here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
We may need to keep it.
Yep,
The accurate statement.
let's keep it.
All right, so our next Living Sober Shrapnel is diversity of opinion.
Oh, you got there.
So it says no one can speak for all of AA, and no one has to agree with any sentiments or ideas expressed by any other AA member. Diversity of opinion is welcomed and valued in AA. And that's also page 77.
No one can speak for all of AA. We agree that's true?
Yes.
No one has to agree with any sentiments or ideas expressed by any other AA member. That's true.
That's a fact.
Diversity of opinion is welcomed and valued in AA.
That's a fact.
Whether you like it or not, it's a fact. Yeah,
And always has been.
always has been. And it's okay to have diversity of opinion and to still be friends and to still get along and to still help one another and not feel like you got to run and join another group or run and help another or start another group or so.
Well, it says in the AA group where it all began, or whatever the name of that pamphlet is, it says in there that diversity in the group is a sign of a healthy group. Differing opinions is a sign of a healthy group because you have a cross section of your community.
Yep. That's exactly what it says.
So,
That's why I've always thought, I'm getting down a rabbit hole in this one, but I've always thought that all these, the starting of all these new groups that have happened over the last 10 years, mostly because of differing,
a response to something you didn't like.
a different opinion or a differing so-called philosophy. Well, there's only one philosophy in AA. It's the book Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
And I think that's done more to hurt unity in AA and to basically say that the traditions don't really apply. The best thing that could happen is for a group to become kind of large and have a lot of different types of people in it.
Yep.
Because we gather around one common solution. If people would focus on that instead of the pettiness and what I would call social and political issues that they bring into the group, you wouldn't have that. People could stay in the same group and help people.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, this is definitely a keeper.
Keeper. All right. So our third, listen, we've kept 2 Living Sober Shrapnels in one episode.
Hard to believe.
Hard to believe. Okay, our third Living Sober Shrapnel, we move on to page 78, and it is some contentment, peace of mind, solutions to problems, zest for living.
Okay. Zest.
It may surprise you that you will almost never hear an AA speaker sound self-pitying about being deprived of alcohol. Identifying with the speaker's past may not be as important as getting an impression of his or her present life. The speaker usually has found or is reaching for some contentment, peace of mind, solutions to problems, zest for living, and a kind of health of the spirit which you too want. If so, hang around. Those qualities are contagious in AA.
Barry might have been off the pipe when he wrote this chapter, or might have
It's pretty good.
caught him at a clear moment. You almost never hear a speaker sound self-pitying about being deprived of alcohol. Identifying with a speaker's past may not be as important as getting an impression of his or her present life. Oh, so we should be talking about recovery and not
Our whole life story
when
of
I was
drinking,
born
of
in elementary school, and yeah. And it also says that the speaker should have contentment, peace of mind, solutions to problems. That's a little different than don't drink no matter what.
correct.
And a zest for living. And a kind of health of the spirit, which you too want. That's pretty good. I like that term, health of the spirit.
Me too.
If so, hang around. Those qualities are contagious in AA. So it's also telling us that we should demonstrate a healthy spirit, that we should have a zest for living, that we should present solutions to problems to people, not just some silly slogan.
You know, what's interesting too, like, I think I really began to understand that because for a while I'm like, I'm not hearing my story. That's another one. Listen for your story in AA. And I didn't feel like I was hearing it. And, you know, what's interesting today is so many of my close friends in Alcoholics Anonymous have vastly different upbringings than I did.
Yeah.
And they don't feel sorry for me, and I don't feel angry about them. And it's just like, hey, we're two people, we've crossed the same path, we're trying to help people and do things, and we can laugh about me being in the trailer and you being in the mansion. You know? It's funny. And being able to like laugh at myself, laugh at someone else. And that was only possible because I had a sponsor and people around me saying, hey, none of that matters.
Yep.
You don't only help people who have been to prison or who have gone in a drunk driving accident.
Good point. You know what they say, though. If you've not heard your story, then you've not been to enough meetings.
Oh my gosh. By the time I did hear it, I was horrified and wanted to walk out of the room. It was so graphic.
Oh, my goodness. You know, the other one that you made me think of when you were talking is you ever heard this one? Go to a meeting every day and don't drink in between.
Yes. Don't drink in between meetings.
Yeah, don't drink in
Yeah.
between meetings. Oh my goodness. So I like what Barry's laying down actually with all three of these, because he's talking about Alcoholics Anonymous being full of life. He's talking about it being kind of formal. He's talking about it being organized.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about it being a good public demonstration for the community, for non-AAs. And I think it's something that Alcoholics Anonymous in general should probably start getting back to and looking at. But anyway, I like this one actually.
Me too. 3 for 3.
I think we should keep it.
All right.
Now we're about done with living sober, aren't we?
We
I know
are.
I've said that 2 or 3 times.
We have a few more, probably gonna have a few more episodes of some living sober shrapnel.
And have we told anybody what we're doing next, or
I don't think so, have we?
no? Are we going to?
Do we know? Did I forget?
Well, I'm thinking we're going to go pull some shrapnel out of the plain language big book.
Oh, yeah. That is right.
So listen, you're not going to want to miss that if you're listening.
It's only fair. And to be clear, we have both read The Plain Language, a Tool for Accessing Alcoholics Anonymous.
That's right. It's going to be epic. There's a lot of shrapnel in that. In the meantime, don't drink no matter what. That's a joke. We would recommend taking the steps out of the big book Alcoholics Anonymous and having a spiritual experience and becoming free.
Freedom.
Thanks for listening. If you have a comment, suggestion, or just need help, you can email Shank and Wayne at freedom@alcoholicsalive.com. Remember, we're recovered members of Alcoholics Anonymous, but we do not speak for Alcoholics Anonymous, nor do we get paid. Join us next week for another great episode.